Thanks for joining us here at Functional Bliss, where Audra and Jessica will guide you through exercises and wellness techniques to help you live your best life every day. It's in the name after all, Functional Bliss. Before you do anything else, click like and subscribe and ring the bell so you'll know whenever we put up a new video. To join our Blissful Gang for live Zoom classes where you can get more direct suggestions and encouragement, go to our website and sign up. Check the class description below for any equipment needs, grab your gear, and let's get started.
All right. So for the first 30 seconds in standing, it's just going to be that nice light and gentle twist. So we're just going to let our arms swing, let your feet pivot, let your knees move with you. And then as you start to just do this work here, notice how does your back feel? How does your body feel? How do your knees feel? How do your hips feel? Even in this light work, see if you can just take about 10 seconds to do some deep breathing. So think about breathing in and out through your nose, but really get a nice bit of expansive breath in your rib cage. All right, now we're going to step the feet just a little bit wider and then take it into that pivot with the dip. So we're going to pivot, do that little bicep curl, dip your knee, and then really get a sense here. How do your feet feel? How do your knees feel? Five seconds left. All right, that's time. Step your feet a little bit wider and now take it into some nice knee dip side lunges here. So just keep a nice wide stance and then notice, how do your feet feel here? How do your knees feel here? All right, now see if you can step your feet just a little bit wider and then go for those lunges for about 5 more seconds. All right, now keep that nice wide and even stance and then take it into some side bends and reach. So just reach one arm up and then the other. And then as you do this work here, see if you can lift up from the arches of your feet. So your legs are slightly active, even though you're working through the upper body. Five seconds left. And time, nicely done. Okay, for fun, toe heel your feet in. And now we're gonna take it into a little bit of a bounce and a shake. So you're just gonna bounce, shake one leg, shake the other leg, get everything bouncing, get everything shaking, just bring a little bit of lively energy into your body. And then as you bounce and shake here, you're gonna notice, what's your energy level like this morning? Did you get enough sleep? Have you been eating good food? Shake your limbs, shake your feet, wiggle your fingers. All right, and then the next 30 seconds, we're gonna pat, pat, pat. So you're just gonna use one hand, pat your arms, pat your belly, pat your back, pat your butt, pat down your legs, pat up your legs anywhere you can. We got 24 seconds to cover as much ground as you can. Really stimulating the outer edges of your body. So we're stimulating the skin, bringing a little bit of blood flow, moving all around anywhere you can reach. All right, that's time. Okay, now for the first minute of that 3 set where we're gonna go from one to the next, I say start with the light weights and then you're gonna see how it feels. So it's going to be a slight wide stance. We're gonna pigeon our toes. So toes are gonna turn in. We're gonna load up at the shoulders and then we're gonna go for a hip hinge. So good morning with that wide pigeon toe. So we're gonna push the butt back, push into the feet to come up. This is our first minute of work. And then if you're here and this is like, you could go for heavier weights, grab your heavier weights, but then have your light weights just nearby. And then if pigeoning your toes creates any compromise in your knees, adjust your legs so that it's a comfortable way to move for your body. And we do want our head to follow our forward bend. So as you hip hinge and bend forward, your eyes and your head should follow that movement. So rather than your chin lifting and you looking up, keep your head in a nice neutral position so that it follows your spine. Five seconds left, and then see how things are feeling here, because the next minute of work is going to be in that halfway folded position. All right, so take it to that halfway fold, and now we're going to press out and pull back in. And now here's where the work might get a little bit challenging for some shoulders. So you can opt to put the weights down, do it open hand. You can switch to your lighter weights, or if this is like a really nice challenge for you and it's something that feels good, you can pick up your medium weights. So go for the weights that feel the best to you here. Our gaze should be down at the floor. So once you know what you're doing, do that slight double tuck of your chin. Try to stay in that halfway folded position best you can. Nice job. You guys look awesome. Beautiful. "20 seconds left. We want to keep our belly slightly firm so the back feels like it's nice and strong and supported. Little micro bend in the knees so the legs feel strong. All right, now we're going to adjust our toes, come down into a little bit of a gorilla squat, and now we're going to take it into a reach and twist. So we're going to keep our hands down on the ground best we can, keep that low squatted position, and then one hand is going to pick up a weight and reach, and then the other hand is going to pick up a weight and reach. We've got 1 minute on the clock. Take this work at your pace. If being in that low position doesn't feel right to you this morning, you're going to come a little bit higher up and you'll still do that reach and twist, but go where your hips feel the happiest and your legs feel the happiest. You're already halfway there. Ten seconds left. And time. Nicely done. Okay, push firm into your feet to come all the way up to standing. And now we're going to step our feet in a little bit closer. So for some of us, it's going to be feet about hip width distance. For some, slightly wider, just depending on how you like your squat. We're going to load up at the shoulders, sink into a squat, and then we're going to alternate a little leg lift, a little rear leg lift, back to your squat. Lower down, lift one leg, squeeze your butt, lift the other leg, squeeze your butt, and then back to your squat. We've got 1 minute on the clock. Take the work at your pace. And today's focus is on that butt squeeze. So if you can, as you lift your leg, slightly abduct it so it's slightly out to the side. And we want to feel like that big booty muscle is getting a good squeeze as you lift your leg. "20 seconds left. And time. Awesome. Okay, we're taking it right into some calf raises. So now just let your hands hang at your sides at a little bit of a farmer's carry. Arms are going to be held away from the side of the body. And then we're going to lift our heels and lower them down. We want to try to maintain a nice even distance between our ankles. So we don't want our ankles buckling out. We don't want them dropping in. We want to stay nice and steady there. Even if that means you reduce your height. So I'd rather you go for strong and stable rather than going for a wild and crazy height, but you're not in good control of the movement. Nice job. 10 seconds left. And time. Woo, nice job. Okay, give your legs a little shake, kick out those calves. And now we're going to come down into a plank position. For today, my preference, if you can stand it, is a high plank position because we want to focus on that butt squeeze. So finding that high plank position is a really nice place where you start to feel, are you supporting your low back? So if you can stand it, take a high plank position. If you need to, elbows and forearms, or if you need to, knees down. The knees down, you kind of reduce how much your butt squeeze is happening. So if you can, occasionally lift your knees, squeeze your butt, and then lower it back down. So in our high plank position, the focus here is squeeze your butt cheeks together and release. Squeeze and release. The full minute of work is just squeeze your butt cheeks together and release. If planking down on the ground feels like it's too much for you, plank at the edge of your bed, plank at your wall, but focus on that squeeze. Squeeze your butt cheeks together and then release. You're already halfway there. Nice job. Oh man, your planks look so good. Watch that head posture though. If you're looking down at your knees or towards your toes, double tuck your chin. Beautiful. 6 seconds left. You got this. Woo! And time. Awesome. Come down into your tabletop position. And now we're going to take it right into our tiger pose. So for my yoga friends, we lift the leg up into that 90 degree. We're going to push the heel up and lift our head. So we're going to go 30 seconds one side. You're going to keep your knee at hip height. You're just going to press the foot up towards the ceiling, lift your chest a little bit, and then bring it right back down. We got 30 seconds on this side. Take it at your pace. We want to feel like there's a bit of a squeeze in the butt and a squeeze in the muscles in the back of the body. It's not a huge range of motion. Keep your foot slightly flexed. Press your heel up towards the ceiling. And as you press your heel up, lift your chest, lift your chin. All right, when you're ready, bring that knee down, switch right to the other side. Same work here. Flex the foot, lift your chest. Small range of motion, but we should feel the muscles that run along the spine get a little kicked on, and you should feel the muscles in your butt get kicked on. And time. Nice job. Okay, staying on our tabletop position, we're going to move right into our bird dogs. But if you want to load them up, you're going to grab your hand weights, and now we're going to go opposite hand, opposite foot. We're going to reach out and away from each other, come back in, switch to the other side. This can be done in standing position. So if you'd rather stay up in standing, take it with one arm, one leg, and then over to the other side. So take the work at the depth that feels right to you. We're going to watch that head posture. So we're going to double tuck the chin just a little bit. So our gaze will constantly be down on that space between our thumbs. We're not looking at our knees and we're not looking at our toes. Nice job. And time. Awesome. Okay, we're spinning it around, sitting onto our butt, taking it into our seated cross crawl. So we're in that staff seated position, hands behind the head. We're going to pick one leg up, touch, pick the other leg up and touch. So we're reaching opposite hand to opposite foot. Now, if sitting in the staff pose position causes you to have a slight rounding of the body, or you feel like you're ribs are way behind your tailbone. Roll up your mat just a little bit to give a little cushion under your tail, and then away we go, just reaching across. Now, if reaching all the way towards the foot feels unavailable, go for the knee. But if you can pick that leg all the way up, bring it towards you, touch your foot, best you can. Nice posture, you guys, beautiful. "15 seconds left. If you're going along and things are feeling like you're not getting enough work, pick up the pace just a little bit, but don't lose that nice tall posture. And time. Awesome. Okay, now we're going to grab our toe band. We're going to take our toe band, put it around our two big toes. But for this first minute of work, we're not doing too much with the toes except for holding and maintaining space. So if your feet are giving you any grief this morning, you could leave the toe band off for this particular part. We're going to put that toe band around the two big toes and then create that good bit of tension, holding that tension there. And now grab a single weight or double weight. So that's going to be totally up to you. We're going to get an overhead hold. Toes are going to stay stable. Hold that overhead hold. But now we're going to butt squeeze. So we're going to squeeze the butt cheeks together. You're going to feel like your spine lifts a little bit and then releases. We got 1 minute on a clock, and it's all about holding that tension at the feet. Give that overhead hold, squeeze your butt, and release. And the squeeze and the release is happening constantly. We squeeze and release. Find a pace that makes the most sense to you. And then notice you're going to feel your thighs move a little bit as you squeeze your butt. You may gain a little bit of height as you squeeze your butt. Keep that good tension on your feet. Nice job. "20 seconds left. Keep squeezing that butt. Squeeze and release, squeeze and release. That's all it's about. And time. Nice job. Okay, keep that toe band around your toes, reposition it or readjust it if you need to. And now we're going to keep that nice spread of the toes. We're going to go big toes, 4 small toes. So we're just going to move the toes. Big toes, 4 small toes. We got 1 minute on the clock. Do the work at your pace. Sit up nice and tall. If this feels like better work for you to do in standing, come up to standing or in a seated position, like in a chair. But if it feels okay to stay in the staff pose, sit up nice and tall, big toes move, small toes move, and we want to keep that nice bit of tension. So we're keeping that about 2 centimeters between the two big toes and a little bit of space between all the toes best we can. Nice, you're already halfway there. And time. Awesome. Okay, grab that toe band from around your toes. Give your toes a little wiggle. Give your feet a little shake. We're going to come down into a supine position. It's going to be 30 seconds, one bit of work. Then we'll roll to one side, do 30 seconds there, and then we'll switch to the other leg. So we're going to come down into a supine position. We're going to turn the right toes in and the left leg can be bent or wherever feels the most stable. It's that toe turned in leg lift. Arms are just going to anchor at your sides. We got 30 seconds here, keeping the toe turned in. So we want to focus on that toe turn in, lift and lower with control. Some of us, it's going to feel a little bit better to have the belly button pressing down towards the spine. Some of us, it's going to feel a little bit better to have the natural curve of our back. And some of us, it's going to feel a little bit better to curl up or support yourself on the elbows and forearms. That's going to be totally up to you. Okay, now for me, it's going to be easier if I flip myself around, but you might choose to roll right over onto your side. So the leg that was just doing that kicking work, we're going to stick with that leg, but now roll onto one side into a side lying position, and we're going to go for that hot potato. So we're going to still keep that toe turned in, but now we're going to hop the foot forward and back. And then how you support the upper body is just whatever feels the most stable to you. So upper body stays steady, and we keep that toe turned in, and we hop the foot forward, hop the foot back. Nice. Five seconds left. And time. Beautiful. Okay, now we're coming back onto our backside, but now we're going to do the other leg. So left leg is going to go long, toe turned in, right leg bent or right leg long. That's just whatever feels better to you. Find your position first, turn the toe in, keep the toe actively turned in, lift and lower that left leg. Same thing on this side. It might feel better to press the low back down. It might feel better to keep the natural curve of your back, or it might feel better to crunch up just a little bit. Ten seconds left here. All right, now we're going to stick with that left leg, but roll over onto your side. Get your side lying position, support the head or let the head lay down. That's going to be totally up to you. And then once you're there, turn that toe in, lift it up, hop it behind you, hop it in front of you. "15 seconds left. And time. Awesome. Okay, we're flipping back onto our backside, and now we're going to take it into our hip bridge, but we're doing the hip bridge with a triple butt squeeze. So we're going to lift up into our hip bridge. You're going to hold that hip bridge at the top. You're going to squeeze your glutes, squeeze them again, squeeze them again, hold that squeeze, and then try to hold it all the way back down to the ground and then release. Lift your butt up. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. So there's no release on that squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. You squeeze it a little bit more, squeeze it a little bit more, hold that third one and lower your way down. We got 1 minute on the clock. Take the work at your pace. Lift up, squeeze, 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 hold that squeeze, try to lower down. And then once you're at the bottom, release. If you like working with the breath, it's an exhale as you lift up and an inhale as you lower down. You're already halfway there. Five seconds left. And time. Nicely done. Okay, lower your butt down. And now we're going to take it into, we're going to go for a crunch, oblique, crunch, oblique, crunch. So you're going to choose the pattern that makes the most sense to you. Start with your legs in the middle. Fingertips are just going to touch the side of the head. So we want to keep a little bit of space in the front of the neck and the throat. Crunch up, lower down, drop your knees to one side, oblique crunch, come back down. And then maybe you'll choose to do the pattern where you crunch through the middle, crunch over to the other side, or go middle, side, side. So whatever pattern works good for you, find the pattern that makes the most sense. But it's a crunch in the middle, an oblique crunch to one side, and an oblique crunch to the other side. We got 1 minute on the clock. Take the work at your pace. Choose the pattern that makes the most sense to you. I like that exhale as I crunch up. So if you like to work with the breath, which can be very beneficial to the hip health and the pelvic floor, you're going to exhale as you crunch up and inhale as you release down. More specifically, what you don't want to do is puff up the belly and then crunch up. We don't want to put too much pressure on the abdominal cavity. "18 seconds left." And time. Okay, work yourself one more time through or even yourself out. And then we're going to grab our toe band. We're going to use our toe band around our thumbs, but you can have an alternate, use it around your toes if that's your preferred, but we're going to go for a roll up. So you're going to take your toe band, loop it around your two big thumbs, and then we're going to send the legs nice and long. Arms are going to stretch up and overhead. Exhale, we curl up, put a little tug on your thumbs, reach past your toes, and then roll your way back down. Nice and slow and controlled. We've got 1 minute on the clock. If pulling on the thumbs doesn't create that good tension that helps you find good work, try it around the toes or leave that part off entirely. That's going to be totally up to you. As you come to that sit up and reach, options to bend the knees are always available. This one's not really about trying to reach for the toes. So we're not trying to stretch the hamstrings, although you may feel a slight stretch in the hamstrings. This one's more about working through the spinal column and the core muscles. You're already halfway there. Okay, now the next time you roll up into the upright seated position, stay there. And now we're going to take it into a V sit, and then we're going to do that little interlace of the fingers. We're going to use our toe band around our thumbs. So we're going to create that little interlace, lean back into your V sit for the first 30 seconds. You're going to start circling your thumbs. We'll switch this rotation at 15-second mark, and then we'll switch our hands in 30 seconds. So we're just circling our thumbs, just like you're twiddling your thumbs. Keep that slight interlace of the fingers, lean back at those core muscles kicked on. All right, and if you're circling your thumbs in one direction, reverse, go the other way. Five more seconds. All right, now for these last 30 seconds, kick that toe band off your thumbs, lift your feet, flick your fingers. Hold that V sit in the lifted feet position and just index or fingers behind the thumb, flick, flick, flick. We got 19 seconds left. You got this. Woo, 5 seconds left. And time, nicely done. Okay, come up to a little crisscross applesauce seat. Once you've got your crisscross applesauce seat, take it into a nice twist to one side, take a couple of nice deep breaths. Awesome, release your twist, take it to the other side, get nice and tall, take a couple nice deep breaths. Beautiful, release that twisted position. You're gonna flip your way up to a tabletop position. So come onto all fours. Once you're in that all fours position, we're gonna keep our hips fairly in line with the knees and we're gonna walk the hands forward. So for my yoga friends, puppy pose or heart melting pose, walk your hands out as far in front of you as you can, and then options to move your hands wider or closer together. That's just going to be what feels better to your armpit, chest, and your shoulders. And then let your chest and your forehead soften down towards the ground and take 3 nice big breaths here. Beautiful. Come back up to your tabletop position. We're going to slide the right leg back with your toes curled under, and then you're just going to press your heel back. So we want to feel a little bit of stress or tension in the Achilles tendon or in your calf muscle. And then once you feel that little bit of stress, take 3 nice big breaths. Beautiful. Slide that leg in. We're going to switch to the other side. Toes curled under, left leg slides back. Push into your heel just to the point where you feel that bit of stressing sensation, and then hang out there. And we want to breathe nice and full into the rib cage if we can. Excellent. When you're ready, slide that leg in. We're going to curl both sets of toes under, lift your butt up like you're going for your down dog position, and then just start to walk your hands toward your feet or your feet toward your hands. So you come into a soft folded position. Once you're in your soft folded position, let your head dangle. You're going to drop your butt down just a little bit, and then imagine you're lifting your sitting bones up towards the ceiling, and then drop your butt down just a little bit. Lift your sitting bones up. Drop your butt just a little bit. Lift your sitting bones up, stay there, take a breath. And then soften your knees, push with intention into your feet. So push down to come up, and then come all the way up and give your shoulders a couple of little shrugs. You guys are amazing. Grab your foam roller if you're sticking around. All right, we're going to start in long spine today. So take your roller, place it down on the ground, and then we're going to come down, one tailbone on one end, head on the other end. So take your time as you come down onto your roller. And then once you're there, just do that little wiggle around to get yourself situated. Once you've got your spine on, tailbone is supported, head is supported, walk your feet to a slightly wide configuration. So we want to have our arms to be able to be free. So our legs are going to help support. To start, we're going to just start with that open wide T. So open your arms out, palms facing up. Give a moment here just to take a couple nice deep breaths. And if you can, really focus that breath into your rib cage. Think of that umbrella breath. Open with the expansive inhale, and the rib comes in with your exhale. We're going to keep our arms out nice and wide, and we're going to do little micro nods of the head up and down. So you're going to do like a centimeter, barely even a centimeter. So you're just going to tiny lift your chin and tiny tuck your chin. So not big range of motion. We're not shooting for big range of motion. We're just finding a light, gentle movement here. One more little micro lift of the chin up and down. And then chin's going to take that slightly double tuck chin position. And then once you've got that slightly double tuck chin position, now you're going to turn your head a little side to side, but you're going to try to maintain that slight double tuck of the chin. So it's not aggressive. It's just slightly drawn down. Keep that slightly drawn down position with the chin and turn your head a little side to side. When you turn your head side to side, it does not need to be full range of motion, but we want to focus a little bit more on the double tuck of the chin if you can. One more turn of the head side to side, and then bring your head back to center. Make sure it's in a nice restful position. And now we're going to start with our snow angel arms. So arms are just going to stretch up and overhead, and then bring them down alongside your hips. And then just here, find as much range of motion in your arms as you can. And then if you like working with the breath here, you'll inhale arms as they raise up and overhead, and then exhale as your arms come down. One more, arms up and down, and then we're going to start to take them into arm circles. So the next time your arms come down alongside your hips, once they hit that hip edge, scoop them up, big circles around up and overhead, and then just find that big range of motion circles, circling all the way around just as far as your arms will go. Take one more circle around in this direction, and then when you're ready, reverse and go the other way. Beautiful. Now, the next time your arms circle up and they're facing up towards the ceiling, rotate your palms so palms are facing in towards each other. And now we're going to do that little shoulder blade squeeze and then shoulder heads lift. So we're going to reach your fingertips up towards the ceiling, let your shoulders round, and then hug your shoulder blades and squeeze them around the roller. Reach your fingertips up, round and reach. Pull the shoulder blades down and squeeze around the roller. And then just do a few more times through. Find a pace that works good for you. One more reach and squeeze. And then we're going to let the arms open back out to that nice wide T position. Palms facing up, let your arms get nice and heavy, and then come back to your breath. And this time take like 5 nice deep breaths, breathing expansively into your rib cage if you can. We're going to stay in this long roller position for a few more moments, but now we're going to flip our hands. So arms are going to now be our support team. Toe heel your feet in a little bit closer. Keep the feet on the ground to start. And then we're going to start with our alternating toe taps here. So once you start to alternate your leg lifts, you're going to start to do your core muscles kick on a little bit to help prevent that wobbling on your roller. Get a sense here of how this is feeling. Like if this feels like the edge of your stability, you're going to stay here with the feet on the ground. If this feels good and now you want to pick up the challenge just a little bit, float both legs up into that reverse tabletop position and now take your toe taps from the air. Beautiful. Take one more toe tap each side, and then we're going to keep our legs in that reverse tabletop position, or keep your legs up in the air. Focus on pressing your belly button into the roller. Keep your left hand on the ground and see if you can reach your right hand up towards the ceiling. Press your belly button down. Take a breath. Awesome. And now right hand's going to touch down to the ground. Stabilize first, and then see if you can lift your left hand up towards the ceiling. Press your belly button into the spine. Awesome. Release your left hand down to the ground. Float your feet down to the ground. Step your feet just a little bit wider, and then take light little micro windshield wipers here. Just swish your knees just a little bit side to side. Nice. One more little swish side to side, and then we're going to carefully roll off the side of our roller. Take your time as you come off, and then we'll reposition the roller so that it's coming perpendicular across your mat into the shoulder blade area. So think bra line, get that roller lined up underneath the bra line. And then once you're there, take a moment to bring your hands behind your head. We're going to lean back over the roller and then exhale to crunch up. Inhale, lean back over your roller. Exhale and crunch up. Inhale, lean back. Exhale, crunch up. And now we're going to move the roller upward just a little bit. So you'll either move yourself down or move your roller up, whatever gets you there. Hands behind the head, lean over the roller. Exhale, crunch back up. Lean over the roller. Exhale, crunch up. Lean over the roller. Exhale, crunch up. We're moving the roller up again. So you either move yourself or move your roller. Once you've moved up about an inch or so, lean over the roller. It might change how much range of motion you have. So just go where you can. Lean over the roller. Crunch up. Last one, lean over the roller. Crunch up, and now push into your feet and take a couple of big giant rolls. Try to cover as much of the ground that you just worked with. So get at the bra line and then work all the way up to where you landed last. Take about 2 more rolls up and down. And then as we come up that last time, we're going to come up as high on the shoulders as we can. Now take your right elbow, tuck it down over your ribs, and then roll slightly onto the side. So we want to feel like we're up on top of that nice meaty muscle on top of the shoulder. And then if it feels good, you're going to push into your feet, lift up and put a little pressure on. So we get that upward momentum of body weight. But if that doesn't feel good, you'll leave that part off. Once you've found a depth of work here that feels good, pause for a moment, take a nice big breath. Beautiful. Release nice and slow and controlled. And we're going to switch to the other side. So you're going to tuck your left elbow down, get on top of that left shoulder, lift your butt up only if that feels good to add that little bit of body weight on top of it. Take a moment, take a breath. Nice. And then with control, come back down. We're going to reposition the roller so that it comes underneath that shoulder blade area or broad line area. So get yourself repositioned and then hands behind the head to support the head. Now we're going to do big giant rolls. So you're going to think broad line slightly below the broad line, all the way up to the tops of the shoulders. But see if you can go in the nice slow motion. One more slow motion roll. And then we're going to come up to about the armpit line. Once you've got that armpit line, we're going to roll to one side. So we're going to keep it nice and tight against the side of the body, arm over top of the roller. And then we're working into that muscle that runs along the back side of the armpit and down into the low backside body. So get on that muscle. And once you're there, top hand is going to help be your guide. And you're just going to rock yourself forward and back. One more rock forward and back, and then we're going to roll across to the other side. So whether you choose to roll or pick yourself up completely and reposition yourself is going to be totally up to you. Roll to the other side, arm on top, working towards that muscle that runs along the back of the armpit. And then once you're there, top hand is your guide, and you're just going to rock yourself forward and back. Nice. One more little rock forward and back. And then we're going to come back over and across, but now we're going to lift ourselves up so we can reposition the roller. So we're going to come into that sideline position. We did this last Friday, but now we're going to replay it so that we can get a little bit more perfected at it. So take that roller down so that it's going to be underneath your knee or underneath your knee/inner thigh. And then you might choose to take your glasses off. That's going to be totally up to you. Bottom hand is going to anchor against the knee. And I'm going to try to make sure that you don't lose my sound. So hang on a second. All right. So bottom hand is going to anchor against the knee. Top hand is going to go behind the head, and you choose whether or not you want to take off your glasses. You're going to keep your head connected to the ground. Top elbow is going to reach and try to touch. And then top elbow is going to reach back and try to touch the ground behind you. Do not worry if you can't touch the ground behind you. That's just what we're reaching towards. Reach forward, elbow touches. Reach back and the elbow tries to touch, and then use your breath here. Come forward. And then as you reach back, exhale, let all of your air go. Beautiful. We're going to go one more time forward and back. And then the next time your elbow reaches back, you're going to stay there. You're going to let your elbow get nice and heavy. Take 3 cycles of breath. And with each exhale, you're going to try to get that elbow a little heavier towards the ground. Nice. And then when you're ready, slowly, gently, mindfully release. Before we flip over to the other side, you got your leg already on that roller. So reposition your upper body and then just take a couple of gentle, generous rolls to the inner thighs. So you're going to roll in and out, cover as much ground here as you can. One more in and out, and then we're going to flip right over to the other side. So you flip yourself around in the way that makes the most sense to you. I'm going to spin myself around so I'm facing out. We're going to take that roller, placing it underneath the knee / inner thigh. Bottom hand is going to reach up and hold onto that knee for an anchor. Glasses off if you wear your glasses. Top hand behind the head. Head rests on the ground. So that top elbow is going to reach, touch the ground in front of you. And then reach back and try to reach the floor. Do not worry if you can't touch the floor. And one side might feel very different from the other. And then once you know where you're going, start to find a little bit of dynamic work that makes sense to you. Use your breath for that back twist. So exhale as you reach that elbow to the floor behind you. All right, now the next time your elbow reaches back, stay there. 3 cycles of breath. And with each exhale, you're going to try to let that elbow get a little heavier towards the ground. Nice. And then when you're ready, slowly, gently, mindfully bring it in and then stick with that inner thigh for a moment since you've got that foam roller there. Take a couple little ins and outs and you reposition your upper body in any way that makes sense so you can find some good work in the inner thigh. Wonderful. One more little roll in and out, and then we're going to flip over into a belly down position with the roller underneath our front hip point. So you're going to take that roller, move yourself around, move your roller around, get yourself repositioned. Roller is going to come under those front protruding hip bones. We're going to go knees down, toes down, elbows and forearms down just to find our space first. And then once you're there, we're going to do those little alternating knee lifts. So one knee is going to lift and then the other. This light work here should give you a lot of good information. So if you're doing this super light, gentle work and it already feels pretty intense, you're not going to really move very far away from this sense of work, at least at the front hip points. But if things are feeling good, now we're going to take it into that slight roll across. So you're going to roll to one hip and then roll to the other side. So like you're rolling to that front entry of your front pocket. If you get here and this feels like it's too intense, go back to your little knee dips. If this is feeling good, the next time you roll slightly over onto that right front pocket area, stay there. See how it feels just for a moment to get nice and heavy. Take a breath. And then we're going to do little wiggles side to side. So stay on that side, but like you're just trying to do this little micro shift. One more little wiggle side to side, and then if it feels good, take it into a light up and down. Beautiful. One more light up and down, and then carefully and mindfully return through center. Pause for a moment just to notice. And then if it feels good to do so, you're going to pivot over to that left side. Once you're on that left side, hang out there for a moment, get heavy, take a breath. And then if it feels good, do that little micro rock side to side. Especially along these front hip points, notice if you pick up tension in your jaw, see if you can keep breathing in and out through your nose, but relax your jaw best you can. One more little side to side wiggle, and then if it feels good, take it into a light little up and down. Nice. One more little light up and down, and then carefully, mindfully roll back through center. So both hip points on. Take a moment here to just let your hip points get nice and heavy. Go for that semi-dragon tail. So think about letting your tailbone get heavy, but keep the upper body slightly supported for a moment. Take a nice big breath in. All right, now we're going to lift the thighs up just enough so that we can move the roller underneath the big major muscles of the thighs. And then once you've got the roller underneath your thighs, we're going to go for that big glide. So we're going to let the toes drag, let your elbows and forearms help support this up and down movement, and then keep a slight bit of firmness in your abdomen so that your low back feels supported. Nice. One more big roll up and down, and then we're going to go slightly to the right. So we're going to pivot just enough so that we're still on top of the right thigh, but slightly off angle to the right, and then give a couple of good rolls up and down. Staying on that right side, but notice if there's any point that feels just a little bit more sensational than the other. And that might be a big ground to cover. So notice if there's any point that gives you a little bit more sense of awareness, and then see if you can pause on that point for a moment. Let your muscles get as soft and heavy as possible. Upper body is going to help support. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. 2 more cycles of breath if you can. Wonderful. And then slowly and mindfully roll back through center. And now we're going to pivot off to the left. So you're going to still be on top of the thigh, but slightly angled off to the left. And then roll yourself up and down. Get as much ground covered as you can. Arms are going to help support this movement. One side might have a different point than the other side. So don't worry about looking like symmetrical or being even, but start to notice, is there a point along the way here that feels a little bit more tender or a little bit more sensational? And then see if you can land on that spot, pause, get nice and heavy, relax your jaw, but breathe in and out through your nose best you can. Nice. One more nice deep breath. And then carefully, mindfully roll back through center. Take a nice soft glide just to kind of soothe out those thighs. And then we're going to position ourselves back to tabletop position and pop your knees up and over your roller. We're going to quickly roll the shins. So take your time, pop your knees up and over, and then draw your knees towards your elbows, and then move the knees away. Nice. One more roll in and out. And then with your toes behind your roller, you're just going to scoop your butt way up and over. And then you're going to kick your legs up and over the roller, moving right into the calf muscles. So we're going to start with that foam roller walk. So we're just going to walk the roller up towards the backs of the knees and then walk it down towards our ankles. Beautiful. Now, the next time you walk down towards your ankles or down towards your Achilles tendon, stack your left foot on top of the right and then just do that little push and grind. So we're going to do the toe turn as we push and grind. You're going to push down into the roller as you push the heel forward. And then turn your toes to the left, turn your toes to the right, and find just as much coverage of the back of that Achilles tendon as you can. Lovely. One more little grind and push, and then we're going to switch to the other side. So left Achilles tendon on, right foot stacked on top, and then do that little push and grind. Turn your toes in, turn your toes out, anything that gets you enough ground covered so you feel like you're really working through that whole back portion of your leg and ankle. Nice. One more little push and grind, and then put the roller so that it's in the middle of your calf muscles. So the thickest, meatiest part of the calf muscles. And then once you're there, we're just going to do some little turns of the toes. So you're going to take both sets of toes, twirl them in one direction. Twirl them the other way. Lovely. One more little twirl of those toes and then walk the roller underneath your knees. So it's underneath the soft bend of your knees. And then once you've got it under the soft bend of your knees, now you're going to just elevate your heels just slightly so that they don't catch against your yoga mat. But now we're just going to point and flex the feet. If you can keep your heels on the ground completely and it doesn't get all caught up in your mat, do the thing that feels the best. Awesome. One more little point and flex of the feet, and then take it into a light and gentle forward fold. So keep the roller underneath the bend of your knees. Just fold yourself forward, reach toward your toes. Doesn't matter if you can touch your toes. Once you've got your fold, take a breath. Nice. And then come out of that fold, lift your knees up just enough that you can move the roller underneath the backs of your thighs. Pick your butt up and do a couple of gentle rolls to the backs of the thighs. Keep a slight micro bend in the knees if you can, or just keep your knees soft. One more roll up and down, and then we're going to pop our butt up onto the roller. So you're going to come up onto the roller in any way that makes sense to you. And then once you're there, we're going to go for that big roll across right away. So we're going to take it from side to side, get as much ground covered here as you can. Awesome. Now, the next time you roll over to the right, stay there. We're going to take a big roll up and down. So you're going to think, get up the crest of the hip, maybe just an edge of that IT band. So we're not going to go to like the length of the IT band, but you may hit just that edge where you feel that tender point and then move right off of it back to the top of the hip. Okay, now we're going to come up to that top edge. So find that top point that feels the best to you. Hang out there for a moment. Just let your butt get as heavy onto your roller as you can. Awesome. And then take it all the way over and across to the other side. Big range of motion here. So we're going to roll up and down. So you're going to get that top of the crest of the hip and then maybe hit that edge of the IT band. Beautiful. One more big up and down, and then come to the top of the hip. Get as heavy as you can. Take a breath. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, come back through center. We're going to come up to a standing position. So come up in any way that makes the most sense to you. We're going to keep the roller down on the ground, and then we're just going to go 1 foot on, 1 foot off. Take a couple little soft rolls to the bottom of the foot. Nice. One more soft roll to the bottom of the foot, and then we're going to lean in, put a little bit of forward body weight, and then slow your roll down. One more roll up and down, and then come to the middle of your foot. So where your foot starts to sort of arch over your roller. Stay in that forward leaning position. Take a breath, and then just do light little lifts and lowers of your toes. The next time your toes lift, keep them lifted and then do that little bug squish. Beautiful. One more squish of that bug, and then come up and off, switch to your other foot. Left foot on, right foot on the ground. Slow roll the bottom of your foot. One more slow, soft roll, and then bring that forward body weight, and then slow your roll down. Beautiful. Come to the middle of your foot and then lift and lower your toes. Nice. And then the next time your toes are lifted, keep them lifted and squish the bug. I think it's time for a new foam roller for me over here. Every time I squish the bug, I leave my footprint in the roller. All right, one more squish the bug. And then lift yourself back up and off. Step that foot on, off, both feet on the ground. Take a nice big breath. Reach your arms up and overhead. And then as you exhale, bend your knees, reach down towards the ground. And just for a fine finish, take a couple little steam rolls to the tops of your feet. One more little steam roll up and down, and then keep that roller on the ground. Bend your knees a lot, pull your abdominal muscles in, push with intention down into your feet as you come up. Give your shoulders a little shrug. You guys are amazing. Nice work today.